Hello YouTube, happy Sunday. I haven't done a video in a few days because I haven't had anything to talk about. But today I wanted to tell people to be open-minded, don't be ignorant, and it's actually a story that I seen on YouTube. I get all my news and everything from YouTube mainly, if not YouTube, AOL. And so I saw something that was so sad and disturbing. A 22-year-old pregnant woman. She had a 1-year-old, and she's from Tampa, Florida. Very beautiful young lady. She was killed by her child's father, boyfriend. They don't know a motive, but it was just a very sad story. And what made me want to talk about it is I have to teach myself to stay away from the comments, because the comments are people always want to victim blame and say ignorant shit. And one particular comment, I have to teach myself, stop commenting on people's shit. Like if I don't agree with it, just don't comment, because it be so ignorant. The shit that people say is so evil and wicked. This person gonna say, who dates rappers and street thugs in 2023? I would feel sorry for her, but she should have, basically saying it's her fault she died, because why she dating a rapper? Let me tell y'all something, and this is for, clearly that person is dumb as hell for saying that, and I hope they see this video. First of all, men who kill women or put their hands on a woman, they come in all walks of life. I'm going to repeat that again. Men who kill women and abuse women, they come in all walks of life. Do you live in a bubble? Like, clearly you live in a bubble. Clearly you don't know men, and you just, how can you say something like that? First of all, not all street guys or not all rappers hit women. That's first and foremost. That's first and foremost. Rapping is a gift and a talent. That has nothing to do with hitting women. Not all rappers hit women, first of all. Second of all, men of all walks of life. I'm talking about, you got cops who beat women and kill women, and they get away with it because they're cops. Watch Fatal Attraction. Those men who do it, they from all walks of life. They got jobs. Some of them even have businesses, and they killed women. So to say something like that is like, oh, well, if you date a rapper or a guy from the streets, first of all, you shouldn't be dating that type of man if you don't, because sometimes it comes with things like they may not be home every night and other things of that stature. But to automatically categorize them and say, oh, they're this way, that's just ignorant. That's very ignorant. And me personally, I don't date rappers, and I've never been into the bad boy image. Like, you know, I told y'all, like, I'm not with my son's father. That's what, you know, that's his lifestyle. But that's none of my business, because I ain't dating him. You know, so I like me a professional man. I'm a professional. I have a job. I have an education. So I go for men that's in my league, you know. However, I'm not going to judge somebody if they want to date that type of dude, you know. And one thing I realize is not everybody has emotional intelligence or empathy. I'm really learning that. Like, a lot of people, they don't know how to look outside of their circumstance. So if it's something that they don't do or approve of, they don't know how to have empathy. And I was thinking about my mom and her family. Like, they don't understand the hurt and the pain that they've caused her, and they looking at her like something wrong with her. Like, at the end of the day, people have feelings. At the end of the day, people remember. You know, people have a right to remember. It's not about holding grudges. It's the fact of people remember stuff. You know, people, you know, are human. You know, so you know, what happened to this young lady is very unfortunate. What I would say is ladies try to pay attention to the red flags, but sometimes there are no red flags. Like, you have cases on Fatal Attraction where the man never hit the woman. It was one particular case where the mother thought that he was a great guy. She's like, she was so shocked and everything because he was like the perfect guy, and then he kills her daughter, and she didn't see it coming. She didn't see it coming at all because he treated her daughter well. So when they found out that he was the murder suspect and he's the one who did it, it was a shock to the whole family because he treated the daughter so well. So a lot of the times you really don't know. So that's why when I seen that comment, I'm like, huh? Like, who says something like that? Because in reality, you don't know. The devil, remember this, the devil never exposes himself right away. How many of us have met a man and we thought he was one way, and then when we got to know him, when we got to know that man, it's like, oh my God, you're a completely different person from what I thought you were. It happens all the time. You know, sometimes you're wrong. I can admit that. Like, my gut is usually on point, but it's happened to me even recently. You know, I had a crush on a guy, and the way he is from when we see each other every day, he's completely different from outside of that. Completely, that's like two different people. You know, so it's like, oh, okay, you know, short-tempered and you know, whatever, completely different person. You know, so, but you know, you don't know people, like they always say, you don't know people until you know people. Yeah, you don't know people until you know people. So we don't know if this young man was abusing her, or we don't know any of that. All we know is that, like they said, she was a good mom. She was pregnant with her second child. She had a kid already, and she was 22. That's all we know. And that she's from Tampa, Florida. We don't know the logistics and you know, whatever. And I made this video to say this. People are not always what they seem. You know, people are not, you know, don't think because a guy is a teacher, for example, or a cop, oh, he's not going to hurt me. He's not going to listen. These men, they come in all, like I said, men who hurt women, they come in all forms and shapes of all different lifestyles and backgrounds. So when I read that comment, I'm like, why do you live in a bubble, first of all? And it's like, where are you from where all rappers and alleged street dudes, first of all, you have people who have regular jobs and sell drugs on the side and rap on the side. So what about that? Like, you know what I'm saying? I know a guy, he's literally a teacher, just got his master's, and he's a rapper on the side. So what, would that make him a bad person because he's a rapper on the side? Like, make it make sense. And people really think that, like, oh, you know, if a person's a rapper or they have a record, that they automatically, they must be no good. Now, some of them, yes, I will agree. Yes, some of them are no good. I have to give you that. Yes, some of them. But you got regular dudes with regular jobs. You got dudes that's waiters in a restaurant, and when they get home, they beat their wives. Or teachers, or any man of any, janitors, whatever. And they go home and beat their wives and kill their wives and whatever. You know, just watch Unsolved Mysteries. Just watch TV. You don't even, you know, if you a person that stays to yourself and you don't know shit, cool. But watch TV. And TV will teach you, like, no, people are not what they seem at all. How many rapists? I was just watching a story time last night, and it was so good with this girl. Her name is Renetta Allen. Her story times are good. Like, if y'all want a really good story time, my story times are okay. My story times are good too, but her story times are really, really, really good. And her story time, she was talking about her co-worker tried to rape her. Her co-worker. She didn't see it coming. She had a gut feeling, but she thought she was tripping. Like most of us, you know, we have a random gut feeling. We don't always follow it because it's like, okay, I'm tripping, da-da-da. But yeah, her coworker, not a guy from the street, a street thug, not a guy who wants to be a rapper, her coworker, a man who she thought was a cool guy, tried to rape her. And then when he left, because he was like getting a new job anyway, when he left, a new girl came in and they started talking about therapy, and they realized it was the same guy that raped her. She's like, what you in therapy for, if you don't mind me asking? She was like, oh, she got raped a year before. And they were comparing notes, and it was the same dude. This dude had a job, was working, had a car, had a place. He looked like a nice guy, and he was a rapist, right? God only knows what else he does to women. So I said that to say this. Don't be naive, ladies. Don't be naive, and looks are very deceiving, and you cannot live in a bubble. Like, that comment just made me do this video. Like, please don't be like that, because if you walk around like that, you're going to have a very rude awakening. And those are my thoughts.